Now, the idea behind these eGPUs is that essentially, if you have a device that doesn't have its own graphics card, for example, a PC, you can plug this into it and configure a lot of it. And I've had this idea already, and it's usually mixed bag. Sometimes it can create a very good experience, but there are other considerations like the cost and the ability to use it with other devices down the line. And so that's definitely a topic that I want to cover in this video, but there are a couple things about this 1X GPU that I think are worth paying attention to. For example, it has its own internal storage option. So you can have your own M.2 drive to expand your storage every time you plug it into this dock. Plus, this thing's got a lot of functionality. In addition to the USB port connection, you can also use it with Oculink, and then also it has dual display port and HDMI port options too. And of course, it's got some sweet RGB lighting, which everybody loves. So in this video, we're going to go over all the good and bad that comes with an external GPU solution like this, and then see whether or not that balance makes sense for you at this price point. We're going to have a lot of fun here, so grab a snack and drink, and let's go ahead.
Yeah, isn't she? You should try.
Really?
I won't call the fun police if you don't.
Okay.
Or put my practice. Reward. Just need to have some with it. Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah? Yeah. Done. Why are you using all the levers? I'm not a doctor. What?
But didn't you say you were a doctor?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Look at
Huh.
my faces. Of course I'm a bloody doctor.
Okay, let's start with the most important part, which is going to be the pricing, because I think this is going to be the big sticking point for most people. And as you can see, the 1X GPU starts at $700. If you want to have it pre-configured with additional storage, it'll go up even higher. But for the purposes of this review, we'll stick with the $700 price point because that's the model I'm reviewing as well. And I think the number one question throughout this entire video is whether or not this device in particular is worth those
What the
$700.
fuck?
And I think we should start by comparing this against similar products, at least the best that we can. So we'll start with the GPU itself. This is a laptop GPU. It's the AMD Ryzen RX 7600M XT. Now, if you're thinking that's a bunch of numbers and letters, I totally agree. So let's put that into context. If we go to the AMD website and look at their list of mobile GPUs, you can see that the 7600M XT that we're reviewing today is the second on the list. So it's not the most high-end one, that's the 7900M, but it's the second one behind that. Now, logically, when I think about one of these external GPUs, the first thing I think about is, okay, well, it's using a laptop GPU, so what are the costs of these laptops that are using the same GPU? And that's where things get tricky, because as of right now, when looking at all the big retailer websites, there is no laptop that's using the same GPU that's available for purchase. Now, you can find laptops with AMD graphics cards inside, but they vary a lot. For example, at Best Buy, you can find the RX 7900M, which is the high-end GPU, but that's going to cost somewhere around $2,000 or more, depending on how you set it out. Meanwhile, you can also find some lower-spec GPUs, like the RX 6550M. This one has about half the compute units of the GPU that we're reviewing today, so I expect the performance will be quite a bit worse than what we're going to see here. And it's a pretty similar story across all the major retailers like Microsoft and Newegg. They all have that really high-end laptop, but there's not a lot in the middle. The only laptop I could find that is somewhat equitable GPU is this one. This one has the Radeon RX 7700M. Now, according to AMD, there is a difference between the S and M models in the $7,000 screens, the S models are more efficient, whereas the M models are more focused on gaming performance. And so there may be some differences between the two, but at least between the major components, things like the speed units and memory size and height, all those are the same, even the GPU frequency is very similar. So at the very least, we're trying to find a similar laptop that has the same GPUs, and I do think this Asus one is probably the best bet. Now, this one's $400 more, but bear in mind that it comes with all sorts of things. After all, it's a full-on computer, so it's got a CPU and RAM and a display and a keyboard. But at the very least, you can see that if you want to get a laptop with similar performance, you can get this for about $400 more than your GPU alone, at least in the smaller. But really, this comparison just highlights the fact that the 1X GPU doesn't really have that same point. After all, this is an accessory to be used with something that's already established. So instead, let's kind of talk about the circumstances that would make the 1X GPU make a little bit more sense. So in this scenario, we're going to take the Lenovo Legion Go. This is probably the most sold handheld right now that has a USB 4 port. So let's just assume in this scenario that you bought a Lenovo Legion Go like I did for around $750. And it's also assumed that you're enjoying this handheld in portrait mode, but there's a part of you that also wants to be able to play it on a larger screen and maybe with better performance. And this is where the 1X GPU comes into play. It's the same price as the Lenovo Legion Go itself, but it improves the performance on something that you already own. And so it's very circumstantial, but the situation here is that if you already have a handheld or a mini PC and you want to increase its performance without having to buy a new handheld or PC, this is one of the ways you could do it. And the way I see it, it's kind of a half-step measure. So let's kind of follow this thread along. We're going to take the 1X Fly as our example this time. This is a handheld that came out last year and it has the Ryzen 7 7840U inside. And that's an excellent chip. It's very similar to what's in the Lenovo Legion Go and a bunch of other handhelds on the market right now. And so really when it comes down to it, there's no upgrade path for the 1X Fly. Yes, there's a new chip, the 8840U that's coming out, but all the same, the performance is going to be negligible between the two. And because there isn't really an upgrade path for the 1X Fly, the next best is going to be the 1X GPU. Now, going along that thread even further, let's say a few years from now, you're ready to buy a new handheld PC. I'm assuming at that point we'll see a bunch of more improvements to APUs, and so it might make more sense to upgrade your handheld. And chances are that handheld will also be compatible with USB 4. That means that when you buy that newer handheld, you'll also be able to use the 1X GPU with it to increase the performance. So it's almost like going another half measure in the sense that you're now upgrading one of the two components. And so this does give your external GPU a little bit longer of legs in the sense that yes, you can upgrade your handheld and the GPU will also upgrade the performance on that as well. And then the rest of that poll I wanted to run down really quickly before we got further into this video. Because I think a lot of people are going to think, what's the point of this thing? And so that's what I want to explain. So now that we have a better idea of this context of when this might make sense, let's actually talk about the concept. And like I mentioned before, this is a review of it, but all opinions are my own and no one is explaining to me well. And no, I'm not going to mention or explain around this before I make this review. Anyway, inside the box is pretty simple. We've got the eCPU itself. And so let's take a look at it first. On the left side, we have our crossplate, and then on the opposite side, we have our bit of IO. On the left, we have three buttons: the power button, favorite button, and RGB. When you power this on, you plug it into the computer, the RGB will start, and by default, it's going to supply 100 watts of power to the GPU. And if you press the trigger button, it's going to up it to 120 watts instead. Now, in terms of RGB, you've got a lot of drivers. You tap on that button, it'll cycle through all of the options. And there are quite a few, including single color colors as well as different patterns, but personally, I just like your standard RGB lighting and other time. Either way, if you'd like, you can personalize it, and it'll remember your setting the next time you turn it on. Also, on the side, we have two USB-A ports. Now let's take a look at the I/O on the back. On the far left, we have a digital Ethernet, and we have two DisplayPort and two HDMI ports. We have plenty of video out options. Further down the right, we have our connectivity options. That's going to be the Oculink and the USB Type 4. And then finally, on the far right, we have our DC power plug. Now, the bottom of the device has a slot for your external storage option, and it's held together magnetically, so it's very easy to take this off. And this is designed to work with a 2280 M.2 slot. Now, I'm filming with one hand right here, so I can't really show you the installation process, but I'm sure you probably know how this works. Either way, I put in 1 terabyte of storage that we'll access later in this video. Before that, let's go through the rest of the stuff that's within the box. We've got a quick start manual that will explain all the different components of the machine, and there are some quick instructions that basically say make sure that you turn it on and then download the latest drivers. Now, the other thing I found interesting about the 1X GPU is the external power supply. And this thing is a monster monster as far as power supplies go, but it does
It's all
have a
right.
lot of punch. This is again